Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. I'm so glad you could join us today. Whether you're watching this on YouTube, listening to our podcast, or tuning in for the first time, I'm excited to dive into the life of one of the most influential leaders in history. Today, we're going to explore the remarkable life of Nelson Mandela, the anti-apartheid revolutionary and the first black president of South Africa. His legacy continues to inspire millions worldwide, and his journey is a powerful testament to the resilience of the human spirit. So, let's take a deeper look into Mandela's early life, his struggles, his achievements, and the lasting impact he had on society. Firstly, we will talk about his early life and family background. Nelson Mandela was born on July 18, 1918, in the small village of Mvizo in the Eastern Cape of South Africa. He was born into the Thembu royal family, which is part of the Xhosa ethnic group, one of South Africa's largest ethnic groups. Mandela's father, Gadla Henry Mfakanyiswa, was a local chief, and Mandela's early life was influenced by his family's traditional role in the community. However, his father passed away when Mandela was just 9 years old, leaving his mother to raise him. After his father's death, Mandela moved to the village of Kunu, where he was adopted by the Thembu regent, Janjantaba Dalindibo, who played an influential role in his upbringing. Despite his family's royal background, Mandela faced many hardships during his early years. The oppressive nature of the apartheid regime was evident even in his childhood, but it was through his experiences that he developed a strong sense of justice and an awareness of the racial inequalities that plagued South African society. Coming towards his education and influences, Mandela's education played a pivotal role in shaping his future. His formal education began at Clarkberry Boarding Institute, a missionary school. Later, he attended Fort Hare University, one of the few institutions of higher education open to black students at the time. It was during his time at Fort Hare that Mandela first encountered political activism, as he began to understand the depth of racial discrimination and the need for collective action to fight it. Mandela continued his studies at Witwatersrand University in Johannesburg, where he completed his law degree. However, his time at university was not just about academics. It was also where he met future leaders of the African National Congress, ANC, and began to get involved in political activism. His education, although interrupted by political struggles, played a significant role in molding his views on justice, equality, and human rights. His political awakening and involvement in the ANC. In 1944, Mandela joined the African National Congress, ANC, an organization that would become the primary force in the fight against apartheid. He became a key member of the ANC Youth League, ANCYL, which was dedicated to resisting the apartheid government's discriminatory policies. It was during this time that Mandela helped form the ANC's Defiance Campaign, a peaceful resistance movement that called for nonviolent civil disobedience in the face of unjust laws. Mandela's growing involvement with the ANC led him to advocate for more direct forms of resistance. In 1948, the South African government adopted the policy of apartheid, a system of institutionalized racial segregation that greatly impacted non-white South Africans. The policy enforced harsh laws that restricted black South Africans' rights, including where they could live, work, and even whom they could marry. Mandela, now a recognized leader, became increasingly vocal in his opposition to apartheid, eventually pushing for the ANC to adopt a policy of armed struggle. His arrestment, imprisonment, and global symbol of resistance. In 1962, Mandela was arrested for his role in planning sabotage against the apartheid regime, and in 1964, he was sentenced to life imprisonment for his involvement in the Rivonia trial. He was sent to the notorious Robben Island prison, where he spent 27 years in harsh conditions, enduring physical labor, limited visitation rights, and constant surveillance. Despite the severe conditions, Mandela remained steadfast in his commitment to dismantling apartheid. While Mandela was in prison, his status as a symbol of resistance grew. The international Free Nelson Mandela campaign gained momentum, and he became a global symbol of the struggle against racial oppression. He inspired not only South Africans but also people around the world to take a stand against injustice. Although he remained incarcerated, his influence was felt across the globe, and many world leaders, celebrities, and activists called for his release, highlighting the importance of his cause. His release and transition to president. After nearly 3 decades behind bars, Nelson Mandela was finally released on February 11, 1990, following mounting pressure from both internal resistance and global sanctions against the apartheid government. His release marked the beginning of the end of apartheid. With his newfound freedom, Mandela focused on peaceful negotiations with the South African government to dismantle apartheid, and he played a key role in the transition to democracy. In 1994, South Africa held its first fully democratic elections, and Nelson Mandela was elected as the country's first black president. His presidency was marked by his focus on national reconciliation as he worked to unite a deeply divided country. Mandela encouraged forgiveness, and his government established the Truth and Reconciliation Commission, TRC, to address the atrocities of apartheid without seeking revenge. This approach, although controversial at the time, ultimately helped South Africa transition from a state of racial division to a more inclusive democracy. His achievements and global impact. Nelson Mandela's achievements went far beyond his presidency. In 1993, he was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize, shared with then-President F.W. de Klerk, for their work in ending apartheid peacefully. Mandela's leadership transcended his role as South Africa's first black president. He became a global icon for human rights, peace, and justice. He advocated for the rights of oppressed people around the world, championing causes like education, HIV, AIDS awareness, and global peace. Even after stepping down from the presidency in 1999, Mandela remained an influential figure, using his platform to address issues such as poverty, education, and the global fight against HIV/AIDS. His continued commitment to humanitarian causes and global peace cemented his legacy as one of the greatest leaders of the 20th century. High legacy. Nelson Mandela passed away on December 5, 2013, at the age of 95. His death marked the end of an era, but his legacy lives on. Mandela's journey from a young law student to a revolutionary leader and global symbol of peace and justice is a testament to the power of resilience, forgiveness, and the pursuit of equality. His life continues to inspire people worldwide to fight for justice, to practice forgiveness, and to work toward a more peaceful and equal world. Mandela's life reminds us that true leadership is not just about power, but about how you use that power to uplift others. His commitment to freedom, reconciliation, and justice stands as a beacon for future generations. Nelson Mandela showed us that even in the face of unimaginable hardship, one person can change the world for the better. Thank you so much for joining me today as we explored the incredible life and legacy of Nelson Mandela. If you enjoyed this video or podcast, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with your friends. Feel free to leave your thoughts and comments below. I'd love to hear your opinions on Mandela's legacy. Until next time, stay inspired, stay informed, and keep making a difference in the world.